Alright, so hey Stephen P. Kitty Cat, what's up? Hey Kisa, what's up Mikey? And hey Cosmo. So tonight, we're starting something new. In case you didn't realize it, look on down there. My name is Bunnie Rabbid, and I'll be your host tonight. Hey Calvin, how are you? And tonight we are going to be talking about really funny obituaries. I mean, there are some really messed up obituaries out there, guys. So, I guess let's jump in. Obituaries make me laugh. So, let's start off with the obituary of Emily Phillips. Do not attack the bunny. Never attack the bunny. We have fangs, you know, the fangs. So let's start off with the obituary of Emily Phillips. She was a retired teacher who died on March 25th in Florida. March 25th of 2015. In Florida. So here we go. It pains me to admit it, but apparently I've passed away. Everyone told me it would happen one day, but that's simply not something I wanted to hear, much less experience. Once again, I didn't get my way. That's been the story of my life. And well, on the subject of the story of my life, on February 9th, 1946, my parents and older sister celebrated my birth, and I was introduced to all as Emily DeBradia Fisher, the daughter of Clyde and Mary Fisher from Hazelwood. I can't believe that happened in the first half of the century, but there are records on file in the courthouse which can corroborate this claim. Just 2 years later, when another baby girl was born, I became known as the middle sister of the infamous three Fisher girls. And the world was changed forever. As a child, I walked to the old Hazelwood Elementary School where teachers like Miss McCracken, Mrs. Davis, and Mrs. Moody planted the seed that eventually led me to become a teacher. Proudly, I started my teaching career at the same elementary school in January of 1968. And from there, I went on to teach young children in the neighboring states of Virginia, Georgia, as well as Florida, where I retired after 25 years. So many things in my life seemed of little significance at the time that they happened, but then took a greater importance as I got older. The memories I'm taking with me now are so precious and have more value than the gold and the silver in my jewelry box. Memories. Where do I begin? Well, I remember Mother wearing an apron. I remember Daddy calling square dancing. I remember my older sister pushing me off my tricycle on the cinder driveway. I remember my younger sister sleepwalking out of the house. I remember Grandmother Nani, who sewed exquisite dresses for me when I was little. I remember Grandmother Mama Tate wringing a chicken's neck so we could have Sunday dinner. I remember being the bride in our Tom Thumb wedding in first grade and performing skits for the 4-H club later in 5th grade. I remember cutting small rosebuds, still wet with dew, to wear to school on spring mornings, and I remember the smell of newly mowed grass. I remember the thrill of leading our high school band down King Street in New Orleans for Mardi Gras. I remember representing Waynesville in the Miss North Carolina pageant, and yes, I twirled my baton to the tune of Dixie. It could have been no other way. I married the man of my dreams, tall, dark, and handsome, on December 16th, 1967, and from that day I was proud to be Mrs. Charlie Phillips, grand diva of all things domestic. Our plan was to have 2 children, a girl and a boy, and inexplicably, we were unsuccessful in doing exactly that when we were blessed with our daughter Bunnie, and then later our son Scott. Seeing these 2 grow into who they were supposed to be brought wonderful sense of meaning to our lives. This might be a good time to mend fences. I apologize for making sweet Bunnie wear no frills jeans when she was little, for redshirting Scott in kindergarten. Apparently, each of these things was humiliating to them, but both were able to rise above their shame and become very successful adults. I also would like to apologize to Mary Ann for tearing up her paper dolls, and to Betsy for dating a guy that she had a crush on. Just when I thought I was too old to fall in love again, I became a grandmother, and my 5 grand angels stole not only my heart, but also spent most of my money. Sydney Elizabeth, Jacob McKay, and Emma Grace, all uprights, have enriched my life more than words can say. Sydney, one more, no more, when she asked for a cookie. Jake saying he was sick as a cat when I said that someone else was sick as a dog. And Emma cutting her beautiful long hair and then proceeding to shave off one of her eyebrows. Yes, these are a few of my favorite things. There's treasures that are irreplaceable and will go with me wherever my journey takes me. I've always maintained that my greatest treasure is being called Nana. That's not exactly true. You see, the youngest of my grand angels, William Fisher Phillips and Charlie Jackson Phillips, call me Nana Banana. These 2 are also apt to insist that I get their hiney whenever I visit, since I am quite skilled in that area and I've always been able to oblige. Speaking of titles, I've held a few in my day. I've been a devoted daughter, an energetic teenager, a WCU graduate, summa cum laude, a loving wife, a comforting mother, a dedicated teacher, a true and loyal friend, and a spoiling grandmother. If you don't believe it, just ask me. Oh, wait, I'm afraid it's too late for questions. Sorry. So I was born, I blinked, and it was over. No buildings named after me, no monuments erected in my honor, but I did have the chance to know and love each and every friend, as well as all my family members. How much more blessed can a person be? So in the end, remember, do your best, follow your arrow, and make something amazing of your life. Oh, and never stop smiling. If you want to, you can look for me in the evening sunset, or with the earliest spring daffodils, or among the flitting and fluttering butterflies. You know I'll be there in one form or another. Of course, that'll probably comfort some while antagonizing others, but you know me, it's what I do. I'll leave you with this. Please don't cry because I'm gone. Instead, be happy that I was here. Or maybe you can cry a little. After all, I have passed away. Today I am happy, and I am dancing, and I'm probably naked. Love you forever. Oh my gosh! Nobody told me that they couldn't hear me. I read all of that. It's okay. Thank you. I hope some of you heard it. So let's get into some of these. Please don't attack the bunny. Miss McCracken. We all did the twist on Saturday night. Thank you, Cosmo. Wringing a chicken's neck could have... so we could have Sunday dinner. Which was weird because she always served pork. Sorry about that. Hopefully I fixed it. Winner, winner, yuck at pork dinner. Kick that hiney. Hey, Lucas. Thank you, Frank. Hey, Jeff. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Yeah, I was having a little bit of fun. What kind of story was that? That was actually somebody's real obituary. She wrote her own obituary. Her name was Emily Phillips. And apparently she was quite the character. So, hey, Dizzy, how are you? All right, so let's do another one. Do we want to do a strange obituary or another funny obituary? Let's go with funny, because I'm looking at Mr. William Zegler, who passed away on July 29th, 2016 at the age of 69. And I quote, to avoid having to make a decision in the pending presidential election. So, William Zegler escaped this mortal realm on Friday, July 29th, 2016, at the age of 69. We think he did it on purpose to avoid having to make a decision in the pending presidential election. He leaves behind 4 children, 5 grandchildren, and the potted meat industry, for which he was an unofficial spokesman until dietary restrictions forced him to eat real food. William volunteered for service in the United States Navy at the ripe old age of 17, and immediately realized he didn't much enjoy being bossed around. He only stuck it out for one war. Before his discharge, however, the government exchanged numerous ribbons and medals for various honorable acts. Upon his return to the city of New Orleans in 1971, thinking it was best to keep an eye on him, government officials hired William as a fireman. After 25 years, he suddenly realized that running away from burning buildings made more sense than running towards them, and he promptly retired. Looking back, William stated that there was no better group of morons and mental patients than those he had the privilege of serving with. Except Bob. He never liked you, Bob. Following his wishes, there will be no service, but well-wishers are encouraged to write a note of farewell on the Schaefer Light beer can and drink it in his honor. He was never one for sentiment or religiosity, but he wanted you to know that if he owes you a beer, and if you can find him in heaven, he will gladly allow you to buy him another. He can likely be found forwarding tasteless internet jokes, check your spam folder, but don't open these at work. Expect to find an alcoholic dog named Judge passed out at his feet. Unlike previous times, this is not a ploy to avoid creditors or old girlfriends. He assures us that he is gone, and he will be greatly missed. Thank you. Having a little bit of fun here with the, yeah, 69, a good age. By the way, people, I am using my legal birth name now. I have stuff I'm looking at, and well, I gotta use it. That's okay, Mikey. I already knew it. Yes, nobody likes Bob. Screw Bob. Bob, he didn't like you. But hey, have a beer in his honor anyway. Oh, let's see. Let's do a strange obituary. Maybe... Okay. Louis J. Casimir Jr. bought the farm Thursday, February 5th, 2004, having lived more than twice as long as he had expected and probably 3 or 4 times as long as he deserved. Although he was born into a impunctuous family in a backward and benighted part of the country at the beginning of the Great Depression, he never in his life suffered any real hardships. Many of his childhood friends who weren't killed or maimed in various wars became petty criminals, prostitutes, and or Republicans. He survived 3 years overseas in an infantry regiment in excellent health, then university for 4 years on the GI Bill, and never thereafter had to do an honest day's work. He was loved by a good woman, he had loyal friends, and all his children were healthy, handsome, and bright. For more than 6 decades he smoked, drank, and ate lots of animal fat, but never had a serious illness or injury. His last wish was that everyone could be as lucky as he had been, even though his demise was probably latrogenic. He was preceded in death by his wife of 43 years, Judy. He is survived by his brother Jack of Houston, Texas, his children Randall Kent of Brunswick, Georgia, Louis John III Trey of Lewisburg, Thomas Bettis of Lewisburg, and Edith Austin Wheat of Austin, Texas. Lou was a daredevil. His last words were, "Watch this!" A memorial service and barbecue will be held on Labor Day at Lou's place. Donations may be made in Lou's honor and memory to the Union County Public Library. Funeral arrangements were done by Shaw Funeral Home in Milton. Oh, these are great. These are absolutely great. Woo! Okay, I'm giving you guys the option here. Do you want funny or strange again? Because it sounds like they're both funny. Let's see. Oh. So. Here we go. A celebration of life for James William Jim Adams, 53, will be held at a later date. He died Tuesday, September 9th, 2008 at Memorial Hospital of Converse County in Douglas. Jim, who had tired of reading obituaries noting others' courageous battles with this or that disease, wanted it known that he lost his battle. It was primarily as a result of being stubborn and not following doctors' orders, or maybe for just living life a little too hard for better than 5 decades. He was born June 8th, 1955 in Garrison, North Dakota. The son of James William and Ruby Helen Adams, he was sadly deprived of his final wish, which was to be run over by a beer truck on the way to the liquor store to buy booze for a date. True to his personal style, he spent his final hours joking with medical personnel, cussing and begging for narcotics, and bargaining with God to look over his loving dog Biscuit and his family. He would like to thank all his ladies for putting up with him for the last 30 years. During his life, he excelled at anything he put his mind to. He loved to hear and tell jokes and spin tales of grand adventures he may or may not have had. He is survived by 5 sons, Jeremiah Adams and his wife, Nicole, Micah Olivis, Wade Olivis, Bryce Simpson, and Cole Adams, and his sister, Jerry Geigrich, 2 ex-wives, Vicki Harrison and Marilyn Williams, 4 grandchildren, 2 nieces, and 2 great-nieces. He was preceded in death by his parents and brother-in-law. In lieu of flowers, he asks that you make a sizable purchase at your favorite watering hole, get rip-roaring drunk, and tell the stories he no longer can. Hey, Derek. How are you? All right. Strange. Okay. Dog named Biscuit. I had biscuits and gravy for breakfast. They were good. Not as good as the blood of the enemies, but close. Pretty close. Oh, biscuits. All right, let's see what else I can find. I have a big list here. Here we go. Homegoing celebration for Roosevelt Conway. The sun rised December 24th, 1946, but when the sun set, Roosevelt was gone. He passed away at 7 p.m. What? He passed away at 7 p.m. April 2nd, 2005. He was born in Bonita, Louisiana, to the union of his beautiful mother, Annie Ree Conway, and his mean father, Aggie Conway. In 1966, he came to Los Angeles, California, where he resided with the Woods family. Mrs. Woods became his second mother. This is where he met and fell in love with his wife, Pee Wee, Theo Dorothy. Later, they moved to Compton, California, where she bared his children, Patricia and Cedric Conway. She's a damn good mother, who was faithful and devoted to her man. Too devoted. She got a wake-up call. They parted. She never went back, but she never stopped caring and doing good things for him. Like now, he didn't have an insurance policy, but Pee Wee made it possible. She made sure he was having a good, proper burial service right now. She will help anyone, long as they're not playing games. But it's time for people to start giving back to her and stop calling her so much. Roosevelt was a good man, a jealous man who needed anger management class. Jealous over his woman. He didn't want any other man speaking or buying anything for his woman. Percy Ledge summed it up with his song, "When a man loved a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else." The first time meeting Roosevelt, you probably wouldn't like him because of his choices of words and the harshness of his tone. He reminds of BJ, that TV series, Mr. T. What you looking at, fool? But to know him was to love him. He was a hardworking man. He worked for Jet Motors, Felix Cat, Chevrolet, and numerous security jobs. Alatora's Market was the last place of employment, which he enjoyed going to work every day. He liked playing dominoes, watching sports on TV, and playing sports. He played baseball, volleyball, all very well. He loved music. His favorite song was Stroking by Clarence Carter. He would dance anytime he heard the song. He really gets down to that song. He also loves to drink his liquid. Roosevelt had many names. His friends called him Heavy D, Real Hard RC. He would call you all kinds of weird names like Junkie, Monkey. Not going to say that last one. He was a fun person to be around, and we are going to miss him dearly. He leaves to cherish his memory. His brother Roy Lee Conway, his two daughters Patricia and Sharon Conway, two sons Cedric and Roosevelt Jr., his second mom Ruby Woods, his wife Theo Dorothy Woods, his sister-in-law Betty, Maddie, Shelley, Doraline, and Jean Woods, two brothers-in-law, Sam and Henry Woods, the children of Manabel who preceded in death, Michael Brad, Byron Conway, Frankie Anderson, and his girlfriend for 10 years, and her children, Shaquanda, Titter, and Deshawn. I can't read any more of this. It went way down, like, it's all covered up. Oh, so let's see. Let's play a commercial, guys. Let me grab my commercials. I'll be back.
This is Mikey from Out of the Ordinary, and you're watching PBDC TV.
listen to music and getting a little bit of time for some creepy research, I'm always representing with my PBDC merch. What a better way to have a cup of coffee in the morning.
Don't forget to check out our other cool merch at rootsbleedred.com. That's rootsbleedred.com.
This is Professor Edgar Fluffosaurus from Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat, and when I'm not hosting Monster Chat or knocking down small Japanese cities, I'm watching PBDC TV. Now back to the show.
Hey. All right, let's get to some of the comments here. Natalie, how's it going? Hello, hello. Yes, Peter Wanker. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I am in Mikey's time slot today. Sorry, Mikey. But he had some stuff to take care of, and I figured I'll just hop in whenever I need to. Or want to. You know. I know, I love them. Alright, so guys, what do you think? Let's see. Here's one. Tearfully in a hot tub, Noisky died while muttering death threats to anyone who would listen. Noisky will be terribly missed by the guys at the Legion. Okay. Well, apparently, he was muttering some death threats. Let's see here. Let's go back to insanely funny. At the age of 35, died peacefully at home on November 25th after complications from a radioactive spider bite that led to years of crime fighting and a year-long battle with a nefarious criminal named Cancer, who has plagued our society for far too long. Civilians will recognize him best as Spider-Man and thank him for his many years of service protecting our city. His family knew him only as a kind, mild-mannered art director, a designer of websites and t-shirts and concert posters who always had the right cardigan and the right thing to say, even if it was wildly inappropriate. Aaron was known for his long, entertaining stories, which he loved to repeat often. In high school, he was in the band The Asparagus Children, which reached critical acclaim in the northern suburbs. As an adult, he graduated from College of Visual Arts, which also died an untimely death recently, and worked in several agencies around Minneapolis, settling in as an interactive associate creative director at Cole and McVoy. Aaron was a comic book aficionado, a pop culture encyclopedia, and always the most fun person at any party. He is survived by his parents, Bill and Kim Kohlmeyer, father Mark Permart, Patricia, Autumn, Allie, his sisters, Erica and Nicole, first wife Gwen Stefani, current wife Nora, and their son Ralph, who will grow up to avenge his father's untimely death. Hey. Hey Sven, you missed. I'm just doing, some funny obituaries. Some of them are great. Some people wrote them for themselves. Isn't that great? I love those socks. My spidey sense. Alright, so that was a fun one, actually. So this is Jim Groth's self-penned funny obituary. Jim Groth made his last wildly inappropriate and probably sarcastic comment on July 28th. Jim was born and immediately dubbed our favorite child to John and Joan Groth in March of '63. Their constant love, support, and caring far exceeded anything Jim deserved. He is survived by his wife of 25 years, the recently wealthy and overly devoted Julie, and his proudest accomplishments, sons, Brandon John, Blake Isa, and Brett James. Additionally, he is survived by his much older sister, Lisa Dickman of Why the Hell Do You Live There, Rhode Island, and younger brother, John Groth of West Palm Beach, Florida. Jim's demise will now allow them to emerge from his shadow. A variety of nieces and nephews with mediocre upbringing would complete the list of those left to embellish his memory. Jim's employment history was standard: college recruiter, oyster shucker, YMCA executive director, and for the past 16 years, industrial construction project manager. He had two basic philosophies regarding work. Careers are for the unimaginative. Surround yourself with great people and stay the hell out of their way. His 30-plus years as a volunteer soccer coach from the kindergarten to high school levels afforded hundreds of children and parents exposure to Jim's unique personality. Half a dozen or so of these folks might speak of him fondly if pressed. Jim died knowing that Monty Python and the Holy Grail was the best movie ever. Bruce Springsteen, best recording artist. Clint Eastwood, the baddest man on the planet. And that chicks dig El Caminos. His regrets were few, but include eating a rotisserie hot dog from a convenience store in the summer of 2002, not training his faithful dog Rita to detect cancer, and that no video evidence exists of his prowess on the soccer field or in the bedroom. Although a less than average lifespan, Jim did not live an average life. He traveled where he wanted to travel, laughed inappropriately at every chance, learned what he wanted to learn, fixed what he wanted to fix, and loved who he wanted to love. Cremation will take place at his family's convenience, and his ashes will be kept around as long as they match the decor. Visitation begins Sunday, August 1st, 2015. Who is Liz? Hey, Sykes, how are you? I'm writing my own, and I will have the Grim Reaper at my funeral. Exactly. Exactly. Still like the name Pee-wee Dorothy. Yep. I want my corpse to be shot out of a cannon at a birthday party. Chicks dig El Caminos, but ladies prefer a man with a ranchero. Hey, Beth! All right. All right, let's see. Let's get another one going. These are great. Okay, so the funny obituary for Johanna R. Scarpitti, written by her daughter. Ding dong, the witch is dead, but the memory of our mother lives on. Wow. Joanna Scarpitti, age 70, of Newcastle, Delaware, passed away unexpectedly August 1st, 2014 at her home. Joanna was a kind-hearted woman, a loving mother and wife who spoiled her grandchildren without complaint. She was sweet with a side of zest. Johanna loved the beach, boating, kayaking, and that incredible drink from the Lazy Lizard. She will be incredibly missed by all who knew her, which was a whole bunch. She is survived by her husband of 46 years, Joseph, her children, William, Nicole, Asuna, and Lucy. Her grandchildren, Jacqueline, Nathan, Dylan, Sean, Rash, Anna, Jillian, Joseph, Brian, and Courtney. It might be rancid on the inside, I don't know. Am I allowed to hit it with my axe? Right? Thank you. Stephen P. Kitty's Cat says, I learned how to drive a Ranchero with a 289 V8. I miss that truck so much. A son named Rash. I don't know what's worse. I mean, I have seen some really messed up names. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The man's name is Angus MacDonald. This has got to be good. Okay. His name is Angus MacDonald, and he wrote his own obituary. Yes. So, the world doesn't have Angus MacDonald to kick around anymore. I'm gone. The devil finally called my name. The Grim Reaper came for me on Friday, March 25th, 2016. I bought the farm. I bit the dust. So I guess I'm off to the Promised Land, eh? The Promised Land, I imagine. Anyways, I was born at St. Joseph's Hospital in Glace Bay on November 26, 1948. Of one of 13 children in the family, I was the 6th born. I was preceded by predeceased by 4 brothers, Lawrence in 43, Pat in 90, Kevin in 99, and Alan in 2010. I am survived by my OG, Brenda, Tower Road, my 3 children, Tyler from Stratford, Ontario, Lawrence and his wife, Lisa from St. Mary's, Ontario, and Cody. Wow. My grandchildren, Nicole, Charlize, Hayden, and Nathan McDonald, and then Haley and Lucas McLeod. So anyway, I think I was a pretty nice guy despite being a former punk and despite what some people would say about me. What did they know about me anyway? I loved my family and cared for them through good times and bad. I did my best. I had some serious health problems the past few years, but survived them. Up until now, anyway. With the help of my wife, Brenda, my granddaughter, Nicole, my sweetheart little dog, Scarlet, and my rescue kitten, Dolly. Elaine and Sonia, and all other nurses from the VON, and the doctors and nurses at the Cape Breton Cancer Center, the palliative care nurses and doctors, Dr. Archibald, and doctors and nurses at Glace Bay Hospital. My little dog Scarlet died September 2013, and there are really no words to describe what a total disaster Scarlet was for me. Or de-stressor. Wow. Woo! De-stressor Scarlet was for me. So I guess if there's a place in the afterlife where little dogs and old dogs go, then that's where you'll find me and Scarlet. Maybe I'll see you there sometime. Besides my wife, children, and grandchildren, the single most wonderful event in my life was spending 3 years at UCCB, now CBU, where I earned my BACS degree and graduated in 1992. I don't want a funeral. A funeral is a waste of hard-earned money and hard-earned saved money that my family can now use. I was a very private person in life, so I don't want to end life with people gawking at me while I lay in my coffin. I'm being cremated. My ashes are being scattered somewhere. So instead of going to see the great creator, I will be going to see the great cremator. Memorial donations may be made to the palliative care unit at the Cape Breton Regional Hospital. All right, let's get to some of these. From the Clan MacLeod. Get off that woman. Yes. 13 children. From Clan MacLeod. So there was MacDonald and MacLeod. That's how the Scots are, and I love them. Here lies Mikey. Last words. Get off my lawn! Wow. I need to step up my obituary after this, right, Heather? Uncle Willie Vodka says that. Willie Vodka knows best. Fuck you, I'm being cremated. Creamy. Does that happen when... That's what happens when they don't embalm you. You turn into creamy soup. Alright. Ooh, another self-pinned one. Let's see if it's funny before I go through it. Okay, so Walter George Broll Jr. wrote his own, again. Walter George Broll Jr. of Newark and Dewey Beach, Delaware, is a dead person. He is no more. He is bereft of life. He is deceased. He has rung down the curtain and gone to join the choir invisible. He has expired and gone to meet his maker. He drifted off this mortal coil on March 9th, 2014 at his home. His spirit was released from his worn-out shell of a body and is now exploring the universe. He was surrounded by his loving wife of 57 years, Helen Sellers Broll, who will now be able to purchase that mink coat, which he had always refused her because he believed only minks should wear mink. His 2 sons, their wives, and his 4 grandchildren. Walt was preceded in death by his tonsils and adenoids in 1935, a spinal disc in 1975, a large piece of his thyroid gland in 1988, and his prostate on March 27, 2000. He was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on April 20th, 1933 at 8:38 p.m. and weighed in at a healthy 7 pounds 4 ounces and was 22 inches long, to Blanche Buckman Broll and Walter George Broll. He drifted through Pennsylvania public school systems from 37 to 51, graduating, to his mother's great relief, from John Bartram High School in June of 51. Walter was a Marine Corps veteran of the Korean War, having served from October of 51 to September of 51. That doesn't make sense. Oh, 53. With overseas duty in Japan from June of 53 to August of 53. He attained the rank of sergeant. He chose his path because Hollywood propaganda, to which he succumbed to as a child during World War II, and his cousin Ella, who joined the Corps in 43. He served an electronics apprenticeship at the Philadelphia Naval Yard from 56 to 61, operating Atlantic Automotive Service stations in Wilmington during 61 to 62, and was employed by the late great DuPont Company from 62 through 93. Very few people who knew him would say he worked for DuPont, and he always claimed that he had only been hired to fill a position. He started at Chestnut site as a flunky in the weave area of the textile fibers department, and then was promoted to research assistant, where he stayed from 63 to 72. In 72, he accepted a position as an equipment service representative with the photo products department at the old DuPont airport site, now Barley Mill Plaza. In 73, he was promoted to manufacturing engineering technologist and was employed in the capacity until 31 years with the company. He was given a fine anniversary dinner, a token gift, and then downsized in December of 93. He was rehired as a contract employee in June of 93, doing the same job that he had been downsized from, and stayed until 95. He started his own contract business and worked at Lithotech Limited from 98 to 99. There will be no viewing, since his wife refuses to honor his request to have him standing in the corner of a room with a glass of Jack Daniels in his hand so that he would appear natural to his visitors. Cremation will take place at the family's convenience. His ashes will be kept in an urn until they get tired of having it around. What's a Grecian urn? Oh, about 200 drachmas a week. Everyone who remembers him is asked to celebrate Walt's life in their own way. Raising a glass with their favorite drink in his memory would be quite appropriate. Instead of flowers, Walt would hope that you would do an unexpected and unsolicited act of kindness for some poor unfortunate soul in his name. My family backgrounds are part of the Black Douglases. That's cool, Beth. That is really neat. DuPont was a paint factory. Prop him up in the corner. You're kind of already going down the rabbit hole right now, listening to me read off obituaries. Huh. I think... Whoa, that's a long one. Let's not go for that one. Well, it could be worse. You could have a funeral like Gigi Al... Woo! Alright, let's see. I think we have time for one more. Not that one. That one's really long. When... Oh, boy. But it's long. Let's see. What? I watched the news where a lady had her husband taxidermied. Her husband... Whoa. So she could... No. No. My grandpa was named after Sir William of the Black Douglases. That's cool. So by the way, guys, I figured I'd talk about it while I'm looking for one more obituary to read. Tonight we're going to be doing some reruns. You will get to see one of our favorite episodes of Steve the Cat as he talks about Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And I do believe we're going to be doing a rerun of Out of the Ordinary where Mikey and Liz were talking about the Chupacabra. Let's do one more of these, and then at 7 o'clock we will have some reruns tonight. Let's see if I can get one more good one. Well, I already looked at the guy and his dog Biscuit. Dolores Aguilar, 1929 to 2008. Dolores Aguilar, born in 1929 in New Mexico, left us on August 7th, 2008. She'll be met in the afterlife by her husband Raymond, her son Paul Jr., and daughter Ruby. She is survived by her daughters Marietta, Mitzi, Stella, Beatrice, Virginia, and Ramona, and son Billy. Grandchildren Donnell, Joe, Mitzi, Maria, Mario, Marty, Tynette, Tanya, Lita, Alexandria, Tommy, Billy, Matthew, Raymond, Kenny, Javier, Lisa, Ashley, and Michael. Great-grandchildren, Brendan, Joseph, Carissa, Jacob, Delaney, Sean, Sienna, Bailey, Christian, Andre Jr., Andrea, Keith, Saeed, Nujama, Salma, Marissa, Emily, JC, Isabella, Samantha, and Emily. I apologize if I missed anyone. Dolores had no hobbies, made no contribution to society, and rarely shared a kind word or deed in her life. I speak for the majority of her family when I say her presence will not be missed by many. Very few tears will be shed, and there will be no lamenting over her passing. Her family will remember Dolores, and amongst ourselves we will remember her in our own way, which were mostly sad and troubling times throughout the years. We may have some fond memories of her, perhaps we will think of those times too. But I truly believe at the end of the day, all of us will really only miss what we never had. A good, kind mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. I hope she is finally at peace with herself. As for the rest of us left behind, I hope this is the beginning of a time of healing and learning to be a family again. There will be no service, no prayers, no closure for the family she spent a lifetime tearing apart. We cannot come together in the end to see to it that her grandchildren and great-grandchildren can say their goodbyes. So, I say here, for all of us, Goodbye. Hey Shelby, how are you? Mustard biscuits. Oh my gosh, my mother-in-law loves those. That's a lot of kids. Sawmill gravy, yum. I swear it wasn't me. Yum. Guys, you're making me hungry, but I need carrots and blood. I'm doing really well, thank you for asking. Whew, I think we are coming to an end for tonight. We are going to be doing some reruns tonight, so please stay tuned. Those are going to start in about 30 minutes. So I'm going to play a few commercials as an outro, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Oh, my night's going really well. Had a little bit of fun reading some obituaries, and I think I might hop in randomly again at some point. Thank you, Natalie. Love, blood, and hugs, guys. Yep, thank you, Kisa. All right. Bye.
It's that time, kids. Hold on to your heads. Join Psychomantium 13. Each week for thrills, chills, and a horrific good time. Don't lose your heads. Join Psychomantium 13 and enter the weird.
This is Mr. Applewhite speaking. There is nothing wrong with your device. Join me here on Psycho Bunnie DC. A delightfully dreadful consternation of horror content. Your head and free your mind.